ஹலோ, குட் ஈவினிங் எவ்ரிவன். வெல்கம் பேக். இன்னைக்கு வந்துட்டு நம்ம ஒரு 15 முக்கியமான கொஸ்டின்ஸ், மோஸ்ட் எக்ஸ்பெக்டட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் ஹிஸ்ட்ரி. ஓகேவா? எல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு 4 சாப்டர் இருக்கு இல்லையா? ரைஸ் ஆஃப் நேஷனலிசம் இன் யூரோப், நேஷனலிசம் இன் இந்தியா, மேக்கிங் ஆஃப் த குளோபல் வேர்ல்ட் அண்ட் பிரிண்ட் கல்ச்சர் அண்ட் த மாடர்ன் வேர்ல்டு. இந்த 4 சாப்டர்லேருந்து we are going to discuss only very important 15 questions. Okay, so just you be attentive and take care. The questions as well as the answers I will speak. I am using the book of I Succeed, which is published by Arihant publication. Okay, so there they have given very important 15 question answers in history that we are going to be discussed now. Okay, first chapter history la rise of nationalism. அதில் பார்த்தோம்னா ஒரு 6 இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகேவா? ஸோ நல்லா நோட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஒரு 6 இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அதில் இருக்கு. டிஸ்கிரைப் எனி 3 ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ்ட் பை நெப்போலியன் இன் த டெரிட்டரிஸ் ஈ கான்குவர்ட். இந்த கொஸ்டின்ல நம்ம என்ன எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண போறோம்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம ஆன்சர் எழுதுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி கொஸ்டினை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். கொஸ்டினை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணாதான் நம்மளால ஆன்சரை கரெக்டாக பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ வி மஸ்ட் ஹாவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் த கொஸ்டின் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிஃபோர் ரைட்டிங் த ஆன்சர்ஸ். Then only we can give the answers properly. Students, you keep in your mind that all the answers must be in point wise. Each and every questions you will be writing in the point wise. Okay, ma? So in this question, again I am reading the questions, repeating the questions. Describe any 3 reforms introduced by Napoleon in the territories he conquered. So in the question la நெப்போலியன் எந்தெந்த டெரிட்டரியை கேப்சர் பண்ணாரோ, கான்குவர்ட் பண்ணாரோ, அங்கேருந்து ஒரு 3 ரிஃபார்ம்ஸை அவர் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ண 3 ரிஃபார்ம்ஸை நம்ம எழுத போகிறோம். அதுதான். ஓகேவா? ஸோ நான் ஆன்சர்ஸை சொல்கிறேன். டிஸ்கிரைப் எனி 3 ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பை நெப்போலியன் இன் த டெரிட்டரிஸ் ஹி கான்குவர்ட். Side heading: the 3 reforms introduced by Napoleon in territories were follows. First, Napoleonic codes, centralized administration, educational reform. இது ரொம்ப 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 முக்கியமான ஒரு 3 பாயிண்ட். நெப்போலியனிக் கோட்ல இவரோட ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ்னா சேஞ்சஸ். ஓகேவா? இந்த நெப்போலியனிக் கோட் அதில் என்ன எழுதணும் அப்படின்னா, நெப்போலியன் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் a unified legal system known as Napoleonic Code, which emphasized equality before the law, protection of property rights and secularism across conquered territories. This first point. Second point, centralized administration. He recognized governance by appointing prefects to oversee departments, aiming to streamline administration and eliminate feudal privileges. Okay, why this second point? Educational reform. Educationல என்னென்ன ரிஃபார்ம்ஸ் இருந்தது? நெப்போலியன் established lycees, means secondary school. Lycees means secondary schools to provide standardized education, aiming to create a skilled workforce and promote loyalty to his regime through education. ஸோ இந்த கொஸ்டினில் வந்துட்டு இந்த 3 பாயிண்ட் தான் நீங்கள் ரொம்ப 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 இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக எழுதக்கூடியது. ஓகேவா? நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் நம்ம பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா, எக்ஸ்பிளைன் எனி 3 காசஸ் ஆஃப் கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட் இன் த பால்கன்ஸ் ஏரியா ஆஃப் 1871. இந்த கொஸ்டினை என்ன எழுத போகிறோம் அப்படின்னா, பால்கன்ஸ் ஏரியாவில் ஆஃப்டர் 1871 எனி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் 3 காசஸ் ஆஃப் த கான்ஃப்ளிக்ட். Okay, so answer in this you will write very important 3 points. First point, rise of nationalism. Second point, decline of Ottoman Empire. Third point, European power interest. Okay, these 3 points are very important. So the answers I will give you: rise of nationalism. Different ethnic groups in Balkans wanted to create their own nations, inspired by the wave of nationalism sweeping across Europe. Decline of Ottoman Empire. The weakening of Ottoman control provided an opportunity for these groups to assert their independence. Third point, European power interests. Major European powers like Austria-Hungary and Russia had completing interest in the Balkans, which increased tension and instability. This is the answer for this question. Okay. Even question number third. Explain any three facts about the new economic situation created in India by the First World War. So what this question is saying about, we have to give any three important facts about the new economic situation which is created in India during the First World War. Okay, so in that three important point you have to mention: increased financial burden, forced recruitment, rising prices and hardships. These are the three much important points you have to explain in this question. Okay, so I will tell you increased financial burden what, forced recruitment what, and rising prices and hardships what. Increased financial burden. The war led to a sharp rise in defense expenditure. To meet these expenses, the British government raised customs duties and introduced income tax for the first time. The second, forced recruitment. Rural populations were burdened with forced recruitment of soldiers, causing resentment and hardships in many villages. Third point, rising prices and hardships between 1913 and 1918. Prices of essential goods doubled, severely affecting common people and leading to widespread economic distress. So these are the three important points of this question, how India is affected in during First World War in economic situation. In this question, these three you will explain very clearly, very simple. Then the fourth question, how had revolutionaries spread their ideas in many European states after 1815? Explain with examples. Okay, in the question, so we are going to be discuss about how had revolutionaries. Revolutionaries means those who work for to bring some important changes. Revolutionaries spread their ideas in many European states after 1815. Explain with examples. So in this also we are going to be discuss five important points what the revolutionaries brought the changes. Okay, so listen carefully. Secret society is the first point, publication is the second point, public gatherings is the third point, art and culture is the fourth point, education is the fifth point. The first point, secret society. Groups like the Carbonari in Italy worked secretly to promote national unity and independence. This much is sufficient. This point, for this point, this much is sufficient. Again, I am reading. Secret societies, group like the Carbonari in Italy worked secretly to promote national unity and independence. Second, publication. Newspapers, pamphlets, and books were used to spread revolutionary ideas widely. For example, Giuseppe Mazzini's writings inspired many with his vision and united Italy. Third, public gathering. Events like the Würzburg Festival 1817 and Hampach Festival in 1832 in Germany brought people together to demand national unity and political freedoms. Art and culture, romantic literature, music, and theatre often contain nationalist and liberal themes influencing public opinion. Then the last point, education. Universities and intellectual societies were hubs for the revolutionary ideas where student and professional discussed and debated political reforms. Okay, so the fifth question of the chapter number 1, history. Analyze the decisions taken by the conservatives at the Congress of Vienna in the year of 1815. So this question is saying that we have to write the decisions taken by the conservatives at the Congress of Vienna, which is held in the year of 1815. Okay, so 1815 Congress of Vienna was there. In 1815, in the Congress of Vienna, what are the decisions are taken? This is the answer that we have to give. So here also we are going to give three important points. In that, restoration of monarchies, redrawing of boundaries, redrawing of boundaries, establishment of balance of power. These are the 3 points that we have to explain very clearly. These are the side headings, whatever I am telling. Restoration of monarchies, redrawing of boundaries, establishment of balance of power. All the side headings you have to explain with the proper points simply. Okay, I will tell you the answer. Restoration of monarchies. Monarchies deposed during the Napoleonic Wars were restored to power, reaffirming traditional hereditary rule. For example, the Bourbon monarchy was restored in France. Redrawing of boundaries. The map of Europe was redrawn and strengthened conservative regimes. France boundaries were reduced to pre-1792 lines and new territories were distributed among Austria, Prussia and Russia. Third point, establishment of balance of power. To prevent future dominance by any one country, a balance of power was established, ensuring that no single nation could easily threaten the stability of Europe again. These 3 points you will explain very clearly in this question. Analyze the decision taken by a conservatives at the Congress of Vienna in the year of 1815. Very simple. Okay, the last important question of the first chapter. Sixth question, describe any 5 steps taken by French revolutionaries to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. So what we have to explain in this question is, we have to write any 5 points that is taken by the French revolutionaries to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. Okay, among the French people, what are the 5 steps has been taken by the French revolutionaries to create a sense of collective identity? Okay, so what are the 5 important points that we are going to be addressing this? Abolition of monarchy and establishment of the republic. Introduction of national symbols. Standardization of the French League. Creation of National Assembly and universal male suffrage. Secularization of society. Only these 5 points is maximum sufficient to give the proper and appropriate answer for this question. Okay, let me explain about these 5 answers I am reading. Okay, just you note it, the answers according to that you write all the points. Abolition of the monarchy and establishment of republic. The revolutionaries abolished the monarchies and proclaimed France a republic in 1792. So what this point is saying, the revolutionaries abolished, stopped, concluded the monarchy and proclaimed France a republic in 1792. Second point, introduction of national symbols. They adopted new symbols that represented the nation rather than the monarchy. Okay, the third point, standardization of French language. Standardization means fixing of the French language. The revolutionaries promoted the use of standardized form of French language. The language should be very, very proper and clear of the French language. Creation of the National Assembly and universal male suffrage. Already you know what is the meaning of the suffrage. Suffrage means right to vote. Male suffrage means right to vote for the men. The formation of National Assembly and the extension of voting rights to all male citizens, regardless of property ownership, were significant steps. Fifth point, secularization of society. The revolutionaries implemented policies reduced the influence of the Catholic Church, which was seen as a pillar of the old regime. They introduced measures such as the civil constitution of the clergy, which brought to church under state control and prompted secular values. Only these are the five very, very important and expected questions for the coming exam from the chapter number 1. Again, all the 6 answers, I think you got it very clearly. Again, I am reading the questions once again, all the 6 questions. So you may simplify the answer according to you also. You can refer the textbooks and you can refer some other sources, and from this point some of other important and valuable points that you can add. Okay, but these 6 questions you learn it very carefully and clearly with the concept and ideas. Okay, so first only now I will read the questions for your understanding. Describe any 3 reforms introduced by Napoleon in the territories he conquered. Second, explain any 3 causes of conflict in the Balkans area after 1871. Third question, explain any 3 facts about a new economic situation created in India by the First World War. Fourth question, how had revolutionaries spread their ideas in many European states after 1815? Fifth question, analyze the decision taken by the conservative at the Congress of Vienna in the year of 1815. Sixth question, describe any 5 steps taken by the French revolutionaries to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. Okay, so in the next video, we will see with the chapter number 2. Again, another some more questions we may expect in that. Okay, bye.